and the trustee cannot be remunerated for the services performed in managing the fund. As mentioned before, the main source of regulation is the Superannuation Industry Supervision Act, or the SIS Act, and in order to be labelled a complying fund and to be able to enjoy the various taxation concessions, the fund needs to be in compliance with the following basic principles of the SIS Act. These are the following. The trustee is responsible for the fund management. The members should have the opportunity to participate in the decision making, because in this way the trustee is held accountable for their decisions. It needs to pass the sole purpose test. In other words, it needs to be maintained for the provision of retirement benefits for its members when they retire or reach preservation age, which we'll come to soon. The investments have to be on an arm's length basis. In other words, the terms have to be on a commercial basis. So in other words, you can enter into investment, like for example, if you have a self-managed super fund, you can sell your shares to it, but it has to be done on a market value. And it needs to have an investment strategy. By that I mean that it needs to have a basic outline of what its various investment components are. For example, 20% cash, 80% listed shares, or 30% cash, 70% property, and it also needs to have a risk management outline. The taxation issues, as mentioned before, one of the main benefits is for superannuation funds is that they enjoy a lot more advantaged taxation environment as opposed to other investment vehicles. The taxable income is taxed at a flat rate of 15%. The capital gains, in other words, the profit you make on some investment, is attracts a 1/3 discount if you held the asset for 12 months or more. And one of the advantages of having a 15% tax rate is that if you invest in franked dividends, shares giving you franked dividends, which carry a 30% franking credit, you get the refund, the excess, imputation credits refunded to you. Now, the non-compliant funds, on the other hand, are taxed at 47% on both their assets and their income. And finally, when you're withdrawing your benefits, you have to be at your preservation age, which if you were born before 1st of July 1960, you have to be 55, and if you're born after 1st of July 1964, you need to be 60, and it sort of phases in reverse proportion between those 2 years. You have two types of withdrawals, the lump sum being one irregular large amount, and the pension, which is a smaller regular amount. And these withdrawals are taxed if you are 60 or over, then they're tax-free. You don't have to pay any tax. If you are age 55 or under, you have to pay 21.5% flat tax. If you are aged between 55 and 60, then the first $140,000 is tax-free and the balance is taxed at 16.5%. So this is basically a brief summary to give you an insight into the basic outlines of the superannuation sector. And I also have some handouts which I will be placing on the desk here, so when you leave tonight, please feel free to take one. I'm a Toastmaster.
Thank you, Peter. Now I'll just hand that over to the President for a minute. I'm the next speaker, so I can't introduce myself. But
Just give time for